What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Vision here, back again with another Saturday live stream. I'm glad that you made it. We're going to get into a bunch of stuff today. We're going to be going over all of the assets that we covered this week as a nice little recap. Be checking out some macro factors, looking at some ideas of what is to come, right? What is ahead? Why we still have conviction? Why I'm still in the markets, right? A little bit of the personal ideas that keep me grounded, tools that I use to keep me not just disciplined, but on track, on time, and to make sure that, I'm sticking to my plan, whether it's, asset preservation, portfolio management, things of that nature. So I'm glad that you're here. Without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, we're going to be covering all of these assets. We're going to be just taking a look, seeing what we're doing, the potential setups, things of that nature. The Patreon members, I know we went over a lot of stuff yesterday in terms of the Profit Lab series for waiting for assets to maybe correct over the weekend. It kind of looks like that's what has happened. And so we can also dive into a couple of those assets as well. If you'd like, I can, if you have any additional questions, concerns, drop it in the, leave a comment. If you have additional assets that you want me to touch on or to cover, let me know, drop it in the comments. Without further ado, like I said, let's get into it. So the reason why I'm still, bullish on risk on assets is pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory. So Trueflation, keep in mind it's going to be white, it might blind you a little bit. So through the Discord, I post a lot of stuff through Discord. If you're interested in the Discord, it's free. It'll be linked in the description and or pinned comment. Always posting stuff, always keeping track of things. But this is something that I've kept track for a while, is Trueflation, right? So Trueflation is a leading indicator to inflation. Most people know about it. Some people don't, right? So right now it's printing at 1.21%, way below the 2%, threshold that the Fed is looking to before they officially announce quantitative easing, okay? What is happening right now is it is stealth quantitative easing, okay? So that's I just wanted to show you where I'm getting the information from, okay? I follow Trueflation. I just reposted Crypto Goose. But what essentially that does, okay, is, you have risk on assets, okay? All these are various types of risk on assets. You have the Russell, you have the SPY, you have silver, gold, okay? You have DJT, ASST, those are traditional stocks, but you have risk on assets that are hedged against inflation. With inflation being so low, that allows the Fed to thus print more money. All right, people love to borrow money. Companies love to borrow money. They especially love to borrow money when interest rates are very low. When interest rates are, when they leave the most room for a higher return on investment, but not only that, for capital adventures, for starting up businesses, for taking more risks, for being more innovative, things of that nature. Okay, so the reason why that's one of the reasons why I'm so dang bullish is because we have the idea that inflation is dropping. We know inflation is dropping. It's mainly due to energy prices are dropping vastly. Grocery prices are dropping vastly, and other things, commodities are dropping. Okay, it doesn't mean that they're dropping to what they previously were. It's just as in terms of what the pace was previously, it has slowed dramatically. Right, it's drastically decreased. Okay, so what that allows the Fed to do is print more money. Well, what's going on right now with what's going on with the battle of the Fed and the current administration? Well, the battle right now is silver and gold are being used to front run the deflation, the devaluation of the dollar. Hey, I truly believe that the dollar is going to be devalued so heavily that risk on assets can be used to pay debt. I don't know how it's going to be done, but that's the only way that it can be done. If people in the government actually want to pay off the debt, really doesn't seem like they do, but that's the only logical way to do so. You can't pay off debt with money because the money is intrinsically worthless. It only is as valuable as whatever it's hedged against. So we looked at trueflation, right? It's a leading indicator. So the by January, I think FOMC meetings next week, they might show. I think last month it was at 2.25% or whatever. They're a little bit behind. So maybe by January, February, we'll see the 2% goal by the Fed. And once that happens, once that's a go, then the silent easing, then the so-called planned adding $40 billion to the market will ramp up. It's already doubled. It's already at $80 billion for January. They said 40, 30 at 80. It's only going to keep going up, right? It's only going to keep going up. So, without further ado, that's what we got. That's what we have in mind. Okay, so real estate, traditional stocks, precious metals, crypto, right? These things, diamonds, gems, things of that nature. Those go up as inflation goes up, and with inflation being so low, there's now room to print money to let it grow. That's how, you contract, you expand, you contract, you expand, you contract, you expand. That's the idea of that's the idea of markets. It's not just straight up. It's not just straight down. It's an ever growing economy, and sometimes it shrinks, but it never just goes away. It never just collapses, right? That's what people think crypto is going to do. It's just going to collapse, and I just don't think so. So without further ado, let's get into the assets. Like I said, if you see something that you want covered, if you have something you want covered that isn't on this list, please drop it in the comments, and I'll get to it if time permits. So ALCX, this was an option for the Profit Lab series. We are waiting on a key level. It's pretty much just going sideways. If we're looking at, whether or not this is complete or not, through the Profit Lab, I didn't think so, right? I know you got a green dot on the Fu Manchu. By the way, if you're interested in the Fu Manchu, it's a free trading indicator. Don't have to pay for it. It's similar to the MACD. I do like the Fu Manchu. I like it on the larger time frames, like the daily and the 4-hour are nice for possible entries, weeklies, 2 weeklies, 10 days. That is more, set up for trends, reversals, bottomings, tops, things of that nature. So, on the weekly, you've had a red dot. You're still waiting on a green dot, so you're waiting on that reversal. Still don't have a reversal yet. That's why it's kind of a, in my opinion, a risky play. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my ideas. These are just my levels. But I would expect it to, continue down just slightly, right? I mean, you have some sort of, three-wave move as of right now. You have a three-wave move as of right now. So you have this A, B. You have a 1-2, pardon me. You have a 1-2, A, B, C. So you got 3 down. Maybe you come up for a fourth, come up, reject that 200, that 20, and then you come down and you complete it. Okay. In terms of just the overall trend of ALCX, it's a $17 million asset. It's pretty tiny. It can be easily manipulated. It's fairly close to the next value that we have at 649. The way the channel operates is we don't just skip $11 and go up to 14, and we don't just skip 649 and go to 578. Okay, it's either this level or it's this level. Okay, we're really close to this level. Possible entry. Okay, so that's those are the ideas that this channel operates on. It's a foundational operating system where we have levels, we stick to a plan, we have a reasoning for investing in risk on assets, and then we look at structure and price. So overall, right now, ALCX, we're looking for a little bit of a correction still. This does, I will say, if we're looking at a smaller time frame, this does look fairly nice, right? You got something that comes up through here like a 1, 2, 3, kind of like a fourth wave. Nothing's invalidated, right? Nothing's invalidated. Everything is good to go. Closing down through here, you're kind of in a horizontal channel, right? Maybe you come sideways, and then once you break up, I do have an alert set for the Discord for once it breaks above this horizontal channel, and I will notify the Discord members when that does so. But right now, it's choppy. It's choppy right now. It looks like it's choppy. and it is kind of indecisive. It doesn't know what to do, which makes sense because Bitcoin doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know its hands from its feet. Okay, but overall, this is kind of what you want to see on the larger time frame. You want to see this 1-2. You want to see a 1-2 similar to this, and you want to see something where it's, it's oscillating, right? It's a clean. Well, you have a 1-2, 3, 4, 5. You have a 1-2, 3, and you're looking for maybe a little bit lower, so you can come down for a 3-wave move. Come down, maybe back test this wave 1 termination point. Back test it. Don't close below it. Close below it. It's invalidated. Back test it, and then go. Go up for a 5th. Because you still need a 1-2 setup. I know people just want to think crypto is going to go crazy. It's going to go to the moon, but it needs a 1-2 setup, just like ASST. ASST is a crypto affiliated stock. So I came from the traditional stock background, a little bit not more predictable, but a little bit less volatile, a little bit more reliable when it comes to indicators, price action. There's a lot, just less manipulation. I don't hold my tongue on manipulation. I do believe that there's manipulation by exchanges to, coordinate attacks on retail leverage, whether you're short or long. Leverage, that's the name of the game at this point. So ASST, it's a $1 billion asset, crypto affiliated asset. This is similar to what. This isn't similar to what silver was doing, but no one's paying attention on assets down here. No one's paying attention to assets up here. Everyone's talking about silver. Everyone's talking about this or that when it's up through here. Right? No one's talking about things when they're down here, when they're going sideways, when they're going quiet, under the moving average. It's the stealth phase. It's the phase where, unless you're here looking at charts, talking about charts, and working on your craft, you're not going to see it. Right now, this, to the blind eye, this looks like a 1-2, but it's not a 1-2. It invalidated everything. It's just it's a finishing portion of a correction. This is still a 1-2. You do, I know it's weird to think, but you have a 1-2 on ASST. You have an overshooting B wave, so you have a type of flat pattern, and you have a 3-wave pullback. Okay, so for ASST, this is part of our Profit Lab series. We've already secured 33% profits of what we put in. We're waiting on some higher levels to, take those profits. We have everything mapped out on the Take Profit 2 sheet. I also offer a Take Profit 4 advanced sheet and then a God sheet, so you can track your assets, maintain your stop losses, put in your take profit levels. It's 90% automated, so there's not a lot of manual work to do in those. But there's one for the, not the beginner, but someone who's getting interested, and there's one for someone who's advanced, who's trading 15 to 20 assets. That can be crazy. I mean, look what we're tracking. I think 11 to 12 assets right here. I try to limit my trades to about 10, but some people, they like to dabble. So those are offered through the Patreon if you're interested. And that's also through the Discord, which is free. So ASST, we're looking for that. We're looking for a close back above this $1 range. It's right. This is right at that 382 of this move. So again, talking about it in the Profit Lab series, we're just waiting for this close. We close up above through here. We're starting a new trend. Okay, starting a new trend, and we have some take profit levels up through here. Okay, take profit levels up through there, in which we'll stay disciplined, take some profits regardless, maybe reinvest, maybe pick a new asset, potato. It's all up to those decisions are possible after you've secured a winning trade. Okay, the Fu Manchu, the daily, we're getting oversold. Stochastic's almost at 0. Getting oversold, right? Getting oversold again. This is a free indicator. You do not need to pay for it. It's not that it looks bearish. It's just it's been on an uptrend for a while, and it hasn't really done anything. So we're looking to cool off maybe for a little bit, go sideways, and then go up. Okay, unless it can actually get some velocity and stay above the 0. Right now, it's not. It's more of a it's indecisive. It doesn't know what exactly it wants to do quite yet. Okay, earnings is in 32 days. We're safe from that. I don't really like trading into earnings. I typically will have I'll tighten my stop loss going into earnings. There's always shenanigans. You never know what to expect. But as always, I hope that, this can reach the potential that I think it can. So without further ado, let's move on. So ASST, we have our level. We're looking for a close above 99 cents to target higher. We do have a level of 82 cents. Okay, we have a level of 82 cents that we could possibly see it dropping down to. Okay, so I do want to start a. No, I'll wait till some more people are in here. I want to start a poll to see if, um, if you guys are interested in the precious metals bull run right now. If you guys are in precious metals, if you guys are in maybe uranium's kind of popping off. I have a couple buddies who are in uranium. Um, I do have one buddy who's in gold, but mostly silver and uranium. Overall, we're looking at Bitcoin now. Okay, we've had this idea for a while. There's two ideas. Everyone's got to have two ideas, so you can always be right. Prove me wrong. But realistically, both of them are still bullish. They just have different setups, right? They have different setups. This is similar to the April setup. Where you still need that fifth wave down. That's what a lot of people are saying, right? You got a bear flag, right? You got a bear flag. I mean, it's not that it's invalid. It's you're kind of breaking down. You're breaking down a little bit. But at the same time, it's starting to drag out. This idea of a fifth wave down doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to 30,000, 20,000, 10,000, zero. You see some crazy stuff on the internet. I mean, if it's on the internet, it must be true. But, Bitcoin to 70, I have Bitcoin down to 71,000. That's the lowest I see Bitcoin going. This bars pattern it doesn't have to equate to exact values. It's the idea of we've been choppy. We're kind of in this section right here. In that section right there. Maybe we have a period where we just kind of cool off, take out this low, finish up the fifth wave. All right, finish up the fifth wave, then go up. So that's one idea. It is if you lose, it's actually on the weekly. Let me see right here. So on the weekly, I think I have it on the daily actually. I do have it on the daily. If you lose, it's right there too. It's not even. Let's go back to the weekly. If you lose 80, if you lose 89,000 on the weekly, I think we're going lower. That's my idea, right? You lose it. Sorry, it's 88.7. 88.7 on the weekly. You're going lower in my opinion, just because of the idea that if we do have 5 waves up, right? We do have 5 waves up, which we do on the daily. This isn't it. It's actually through. I think it's through here. Let me see, actually. It's through. It's kind of hard to see with this bars pattern, if I'm being honest. It's through here. It's 5 waves through here. I can actually highlight it. Let me highlight it for you guys. Let me highlight it. Throw a little box up through here. This is what I'm talking about right here. Oh, got to double click. That's what I'm talking about. Has a 5-wave move. This is pretty bearish. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty bearish. Maybe you bounce through here and then go. But it's the weekend. I'm not too worried. Correct. Go sideways on the weekend. As long as we're not going up on the weekends anymore. Go up on the weekends. Crash down on Mondays. If you've been here for a while, you know what I'm talking about. That's kind of been the routine and the regimen. But for right now, you do have Bitcoin on the daily. Has a nice 1-2. Has a 3, has a 4, has a 5. Okay, if you want to say an ABC, so you have a 1-2, you have an ABC for your third, you have a fourth, you have a fifth. So you're coming down, so you have a 1-2. Okay, you have a 1-2. Yes, you can come down. You can double bottom at. You can double bottom at 85. You could double bottom at 85, but losing the wave 1 termination point, it just leaves so much room for bears to take control, drive it down to some lower prices. This is the alternative idea that I have, right? So we're somewhere in between in here on the bars pattern. If we're looking at the bars pattern, right, you got this correction, you got this kind of steep sell-off, you got a steep sell-off, you got kind of a grind up for a third, and then you come down and take out that low. Come down, take out that low. Maybe come down and do a double bottom. All right, double bottom. which is fine. This is the bars pattern. This is actually from September of, I believe, 2024. I have it highlighted. Here we go. Yeah, September 2024. Something similar where, you drop down. It's not as drastic. Obviously, it's not as drastic. Percentage-wise, it actually might have been just as drastic. From a high to a low was 33%. High to low, 33%. I don't know what we're at, if I'm being honest. I gotta check. What did we hit down through here? 36%. Pretty similar. 3% off on a $89,000 asset. That's pretty minor. So what we did was through here is you have this steep sell-off, right? Steep sell-off, you kind of recover, a steeper sell-off. But then you start having a idea where you have higher lows and higher highs. Okay? It looks like a bear flag, especially through here, like right through here. When you sell off through here, right, you're kind of doing this. This looks like a bear flag. You want a deeper bear flag? Looks like a bear flag. Sell off, boom, come up, boom, come up. This should have been, from what bear flags are, when you come up and touch that last time, so that's a fourth. So, you have, that's just a bad drawing. My drawings are bad. If you've been here for a while, my drawings are bad, but the idea remains the same. So you got a 1 touch point, you got a 2 touch point, you got a 3 touch point. So you're waiting for that 4th touch point. It just never comes. But it's still flagging out to reject and go to the downside. Same kind of thing. A lot of sideways action after this sell-off. Right, this sell-off was from a high to a low. Same kind. It's going to be a pretty drastic. Just from there, it's 30%. Just from there, it's 30%. So we'll measure this from right here down to right here. So that was more drastic. It probably doesn't look like it or feel like it, but this was more drastic. And I kind of had a look to it where it, this through here definitely looks corrective. Okay, yeah, we're getting our retrace. We're about to continue and go down. Nope, we get a higher low. Right, you get a higher low, and you're like, okay, well, we're building our bear flag. We're building our bear flag, and now we're about to drop up through here. Now we're about to drop. You have this A, B. You have a 1, 2. Okay, here's a big 3. Didn't come. So, a lot of people are expecting lower. A lot of people are expecting lower for Bitcoin. I've had $93,000 as well for a key area to hit. January 27th, it was an idea that coincided with just how long this took to reverse. It doesn't mean that, January 27th it's going to happen, it's going to go, it's going to rip. It's just an idea of how long it took for September to sell off, go sideways. So to sell off, go sideways, that's perfect. See, if you're not subscribed, that's why you subscribe right there. Not for the TA, not for the jokes and for the this and for the that's. It's for the straight. Maybe it's not. Let's start it from right here. That's perfect. Come on, that's absolutely perfect. When you're so bad at drawing lines and you draw a good one, you just gotta take a moment to appreciate it. But it's just an idea of how long the correction took in September. It's similar. It's potato. It's apples to apples. It's not identical, but it's similar, right? It's a green apple and a red apple. They're still apples at heart. So that's what I got for Bitcoin. And far as the Fu Manchu, you still got a green dot. Not really doing much with it, right? Slowing bearish momentum. It's coming back down below your RSI. Not great. Not a great sign. Not a great sign. I'm not going to sit here and say, it's okay, whatever. It's looking more so like it wants to, finish up, come back down. It's looking more and more like it as the weeks go on. It's been going sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 9th week it's going sideways. It's got to pick a decision. It's got to make a decision soon. As long as you're not overly emotional, as long as you can stay grounded, have some ideas, have some plans, think about your plans, write them down, have it in a have your assets, whatever you're investing in, your entire portfolio, not through TradingView, not through Robinhood, but somewhere where you can visualize everything and make adjustments on the fly, stick to your plan, make it easy for you. I think that's the way to go. In my opinion, that's the way to go. But right now you're finding support right at that 89,253. It's right above the 88.7 level. Looking to hold that and then reestablish the 93,000, because that's the 786 of the 1-2 extension. So with that being said, Bitcoin looking like it's just meh. It's not really doing much. I'm not going to sit here and say it's doing a lot. It's not doing much. There is green dots on the 2 weeks, on the weekly. Not on the 2 weeks yet. I'm sorry. If we get a green dot on the 2 week, that's like the sign of we're a go. Yeah, 2 weeks, right? Last green one we ripped, green ripped, green ripped, green ripped. So it's the lowest it's been since almost the bear market. I mean, it's almost the bear market. For Bitcoin targets, I don't have crazy Bitcoin targets. I don't have crazy Bitcoin targets. I've been saying, anything from 146 up to 186. That's about it. 186 is kind of a far fetch. I don't know if it can get to 186, but 146 to 164, I think somewhere in between there. And yeah, without further ado, let's keep it rolling. So degen, all my degens, right? This coin has been somewhat frustrating, right? We just lost our 1-2 setup. We lost our 1-2 setup, which isn't a surprise. Okay, actually, did we lose it? No, we have not lost it yet, but we are damn close. Damn close. There's 5 waves here. I don't know what it's waiting for. It's a 1, 2, A, B, C, 3. You have a 4th. You have a 5th. We can inverse this real quick. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. It's Saturday. We got first UFC event on Paramount. We got some NFL football. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you're doing over the weekend. I like to know what you guys are up to, especially if you guys are into similar things. Like I like sports and things of that nature. In terms of this correction, finding resistance right at the 786, not a surprise. Blowing through it right to that 1618 and then come back down. I mean, the 2 is at. Oh man, this is gonna be close. This is gonna be close because it does look like it wants lower. It does look like it wants lower. Close below 1039. You're looking at an invalid 1-2. I mean, this is a V shape. This is what you want to continuation to the upside. Do the same thing right here. It's what's new, right? What's new? If there's something that's new to crypto, you let me know, because I think I'm being left out in the dark with the amount of 1-2 setups that become invalidated over and over again. It's not something that we should be surprised over. In terms of our retracement, if you're looking at the 1-2, 1-2. Yeah, it's past the 2. The 2272 is past that. So, yeah, really looking to stay above this 1039. It is the January open. It is a wickless open. But, I mean, look how oversold you are. Look how oversold you are. There is some bullish divergence, right? There's bullish divergence. I think we have we have a higher low. Okay, we have a higher low. And we have a lower low on the Fu Manchu. So you're being more oversold and the price is stabilizing, which is good. So when we were talking about this up through here, talking about how we didn't want to see a cross below the moving average, but we also didn't want to see us down below this 38 level again, because we lived down there for a while. We were kind of down in the trenches for a while. Yes, you're above your sell side wall. Yes, you're above that, but it hasn't amounted to anything. You've gotten above it multiple times. All right. Can you stay above it and hold it? Maybe you come back and back test it one more time. Maybe you back test it one more time and then go. Right, and then go. Form some bullish divergence. Do we have actually anything on here? Let me see here. Hear ye. I mean, no, we don't. No bullish divergence on the daily, not yet. MACD, it shows slowing bearish momentum, but nothing's really going on. It's the same concept, okay? Pardon me. So that's for DGen. We have levels of 1379, but this 5.5 level, we've been talking about 5.5 for a while. Once you close above that, then it's up. Then we're off to the races. We're up to the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, the 6s, things like that. Fast. It'll be very fast. So that's what I got for DGen. It does look like it wants to, continue to the downside. Hopefully we get that double bottom and then we start to move. Doji. This is a potential entry for the Profit Lab series, but it just didn't meet the requirements that I like. It does have a clean 3-wave move. A lot of these do 3-wave move clear, going sideways in a horizontal channel. We get above 13.6 and we're going to start to see something spectacular. It's right there. It's right there. We're going to start to see something crazy happen. We're going to start to see some actual good price action. Again, a lot of these assets are going to be in the same scenario where you're oversold on the Fu Manchu. Right, you're oversold on the Fu Manchu. You're going sideways or slightly down on the RSI, and you're slowing bearish momentum on the MACD. So the bottoming signals are here, but the price action has not reflected what the bottom will look like, right? It does look like it wants to be a bottom, but at the same time, there has been no actual reversal yet, so we can't call a bottom. There hasn't been 5 clean waves yet. Not yet. I know it's frustrating and it's annoying, but we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. It's not going away anytime soon. We have a green dot on the 10-day, right? Green dot on the 10-day, but again, we were starting to move up and back down again on the MACD. Same thing with the RSI. I do like this RSI look a little bit. It gives me a little bit of confidence. It does. It gives me a little bit of confidence. It's almost like you're kind of flagging out, and then you're going sideways, and then you can go up. Okay? You're not immediately attacking the moving average to get rejected. Go sideways, build some momentum, do something. There's a lot of news coming out next week about crypto. I know the news hasn't meant anything. I know it doesn't correlate with price action to the upside, but it is there. It's being worked on. That's what it is for crypto at the moment. It's an asset class that is highly manipulated with very little to no regulation, with very little to no clarity. So this is what you get. You get a lot of lulls, but you do get explosive moves to the upside. And so, right, positioning yourself wisely in these situations, right, where you're kind of going down, you're kind of going sideways, kind of going down, kind of going sideways. Same concept, kind of going down, kind of going sideways. Okay, that's what it's all about, right? Taking advantage of these scenarios and situations. Ethereum, right? Ethereum, we got a red dot on the 10-day. Not a great look, right? Ethereum is kind of making its decision. Doesn't really want to, you're getting compression. You want compression. A lot of your EMAs are right next to each other. Your 200 is now it's a little bit above this 2179 level. We've had this 2179 level for a while. It doesn't, this has a, this is a 3-wave move. You got your 1, 2, 3. This is a 4th wave. So at the lowest, we really don't want to see it come down here and invalidate this. We don't want to see this close down below here. So, I think there's some false signals going on. Ethereum is just going sideways. I think the red dot is here is because it hasn't done anything. It's going completely sideways. Close above 31.27 on the 10-day. Close above here. And then we're targeting that's 43 and above. For Ethereum, right, I have levels all the way up from 63. Let me see here on the daily. 63 all the way up to 7,900. Right, these are just my ideas. These are my levels. In terms of what we got going on for the 5 waves up, right, you got a 1, 2. All right, you got a 3, 4, 5, and then you got a second wave. If we come down and we close down below this area, it's invalidated. This whole entire structure, this whole entire time from November 22nd, so over 2 months of just doing nothing. It's not even a bear flag at this point. It's just a horizontal channel. It is. It's just a horizontal channel. Okay, so you do have a B, C, D, E, then you can go. Yeah, but in terms of, you're resting right on that 800 EMA. It is the decision maker for a the trend, whether the trend is up, whether the trend is down. The 800 EMA decision maker. I got this from one of my Patreon members. They talked me into it. They're really good with TA, and then I obviously went in and looked at the reasoning for it. So it's more of a trend indicator on the daily, maybe the 12-hour and the 4-hour. So, but Ethereum right now, it's had a red dot. It's going down. It's going sideways. Not a lot going on. This doesn't look the greatest, if I'm being honest. Through here like this, this does not look the greatest. Just in terms of the idea that it wants to go down. The idea that I don't want this on every single one. Perfect. Let's just keep this on the daily. All right, this does look like it wants to make a decision. It is the weekend, so I'm not looking for a ton of volume to change the outcome of what's going on. But the idea remains the same where, you close down below it. Maybe we're in some trouble. And Ethereum decides to make its move to the downside, clear out the rest. But then we're looking at an invalid. If you come down through here, then it's invalid. Not good. Not good, not good, not good. Not really too worried about the smaller time frames right now. I mean, we could look at like the 12-hour. Yeah, this looks like a bear flag. This looks like a bear flag, right? You got this A, you got this B, you got like a C, you got like almost like a running flat. You have a higher low, break above. Okay, that's what it's giving the vibes of right now, right? You have like this 1, 2, you have a 3, you have a 4, and you're coming down maybe for your 5th and final, maybe to your 5th and final, and then you're done, But with crypto, very hard to know if the price action is being deliberate or it's being a little bit shady, right? No one really knows. But as of right now, the 12-hour kind of looks. I would lead toward bearish. I know there's a green dot, but there's nothing going on, right? You need momentum on the Fu Manchu. Stochastic still going sideways, not doing much. So, yeah, it's time will tell. We have a lot of compression. I mean, EMAs are all right next to each other. Big week ahead of us. Which week isn't a big week, but it does look, like I said, it is looking bearish. Jasmy's one of the better looking assets actually. So if we're on here on the daily, Jasmy looks great. This is, there's a couple other assets that kind of look like Jasmy where you got this, pardon me, you got this M pattern, right? Came down to termination point right through here. Kind of just been leaky since. Going down, and then you get an impulse. Or AI is very similar to that. There's one more that was similar. I think it was TARS AI was very similar to that as well. But same concept where you're just being leaky, and then you get an impulse. This right here is what we're looking for Ethereum, for Bitcoin, for all these other assets. And for some reason, Jasmy has seemed to lead. I don't know if maybe it's me because I track Jasmy because I own Jasmy, but it has been almost like a leading indicator to what the market is going to do with Jasmy. It's a $360 million asset. It's not large. It's not tiny. It's right in the middle, right? It's Goldilocks. It's right in the middle. We do have a clean structure. We have a clean impulse. Okay, clean impulse. This is not a 1-2 because it would have been invalidated. So we have a clean impulse. We almost have like an A right through here, like a 1-2. You have a 3, you have a 4. Maybe you come down for one more for a 5th. I have this 626 level mapped out. It was an area where you tried to bounce, tried to get above it for a while, but nothing where it was back in the day when 626 actually played something. I'm thinking of stars right now with order 626, or is it order 626? Maybe it's not. But 626 was a big area through here as well. Big area, right? So you come down, break down, kind of form almost like a big cup, then a handle, and once you broke out above 626, you're good. Yeah, order 626. I think so. Maybe it's different. I don't know. Every time I look at Jasmine, I look at that level, I'm like, okay. But right now you're flagging into that. You're flagging into that. You break above. So here's the next key level for Jasmine. You break above 836, right? And you're targeting some higher levels. Targeting some higher levels, possibly even the 800 EMA. And then you can start to correct. And then you can start to correct. So you got this 1, 2. You know, you have A, B, C for your third, come down for your fourth, then go up for your fifth. Then you have 5 waves up. You have your 1, 2 setup is complete, and then you can start to get rolling. It's a process. It's a process, but if you're disciplined, if you stay organized, if you stay centralized, you can take advantage of these moves, right? I'm in position to take advantage of the next move. I'm going to be in the next move. I'm not going to be chasing gains, this or that. I'm going to be in the next move. Not sidelined, right? The sideliners, keeping the benches warm for us, right? When we get out of the game. But right now, kind of just going sideways. Not much going on. Like I said, it does have a green dot on the daily. It's kind of been a leading indicator, like I said, for a lot of the other alts, and including Bitcoin. It has a green dot on the 2-week, green dot on the 2-week, green dot on the weekly, green dot on the 10-day. What on the monthly? Nope, not yet. Not on the monthly, but there's reversal signals happening for Jasmine. I'll touch on Jasmine again on Monday. If you're interested as well, just shoot me a message, join the Discord, whatever you prefer. We're here on OrAI. OrAI had a message on through Discord about OrAI. What do what do we expect? What can we see? What do we, what are the next stages? I did cover the video. I have a full video on OrAI where I'll go into detail. I think it's pretty similar. We just got done looking at Jasmine. I know it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, but the whole idea of this M pattern, you slam down, you take out these lows, right? Slam down, take out the low, and then you come up, and then you're just drizzling and drizzling and drizzling and drizzling and drizzling and drizzling and drizzling in an impulse. An impulse. It's a tiny asset, tiny asset. I think the impulse is going to be pretty strong. I think the impulse is going to be pretty strong. This is on the 10-day. And as you can see, it's kind of leaky. I mean, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 days in a row of red. 70 days in a row of red. What do we have here? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 days in a row. But the same kind of concept where you're just leaky. You're just leaky. It's not, doesn't look good. It's almost straight down vertical. No green dots. A lot of wicks. Just slam down. Same concept. Not as much wicks, but the concept is still the same where you're just getting slammed down over and over again. I think OrAI has some potential to reach these higher levels. This level of 82 cents unlocks 348. That's how drastic this changes. All right, so this level through here, I actually have an alert for this level for the Discord. They'll be notified for either one. So I've maybe actually it's just for lower. I do have one for lower for an entry because I might enter OrAI actually at 40 cents. If it hits, let me see. Actually, it's 35 cents. If it hits 35 cents, I'm going to enter it. I do want to put 82 cents. I'm going to add an alert. So crossing up above 82, 0.82. And then I'll know. Bada bing. There we go. Good to go. OrAI. You got a red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, a bunch of just smoke screens, smoke and mirrors, not just keeping people on their toes. You're still below the moving average on the 100. Sorry, you're still below the 0 on the MACD, but you are above the stochastics. So there's some reasons to be bullish. You're almost oversold. Right, the last time you were almost oversold was down through here, almost the same exact levels, and then you did whatever this is. This is probably a 400% or 500%, probably more than that actually. Let me see here. This looks like a very large move, very large, especially going from 90 cents up to, oh my gosh, yeah, it's like a 10x, yeah, 11x, almost a 12x. So high potential, high risk, high potential, right? It's a tiny asset, so just understand that and know that. So we have those levels set. It's coming right up against the sell side wall again. Doesn't really like that wall. It's almost allergic to it. It's oil and water. I think it wants to come back down and test. Come back down and test. Then go. All right. This doesn't look like what you'd want to see. You kind of want to see something come down in a three-way move, impulse, then go, and like that. All right, impulse then go up. But that's ORAI. That's what I got. Those are some of those levels. TARS AI. We're looking at TARS AI again on the 10-day, the daily, the weekly. We had this weekly mapped out. We were calling on this on the Discord. I got receipts. We were calling for it in the videos. Right? No hindsight. We're not going back and changing levels. I'm not going back and fixing things. It's just the idea and the structure that I put forth. I was expecting something like this. That's why I was contemplating getting into this, but I got into UFD instead for a nice move. 66% move, actually, to be exact. Not for the entire thing, but for the take profit on the Profit Lab series. But overall, let's get back to topic. I get, you got to bring me back every once in a while. You have this impulse right at the very tip of the spear. It actually worked out in our favor. There's been many of these where you decision point, Jasmy, Degen, XLM, Chainlink, and then you shit the bed and you crawl under it and you suck your thumb. But this 1-2 setup still valid. We do have 2.06 cents. It has reached for it. What did it get down to? The low is 218. So 0.0012 cents off. Pretty close, pretty accurate in my opinion. The weekly I don't like. So there's some things that I don't like about this. And I'm honest. I'll give it to you straight. Still way below the zero, but the fact that you have this, and this was bullish divergence, right? Bullish divergence. Okay. The fact that you have an RSI that looks bullish. RSI looks bullish. It looks good. Ready to go. Coming back to back test the moving average on the RSI. The fact that you have a move. You're kind of going sideways, and still no momentum. No momentum. Just gives me vibes of something like this. All right, you got up, didn't sustain any momentum, and then you just tanked. So this thing, the continuation is needed for a lot of these assets. It's not, they can't afford to do nothing. Okay, on the daily chart, it is getting oversold. It is bullishly postured, right? You're losing bearish momentum. You're having this posture where you're almost ramping up. You're almost doing like a W pattern, right? Trying to ramp up, get above that moving average, and get above that 48, 49 level. And the 1-2 is still intact. It's in terms of what this is so far, this doesn't look like a third or anything like that. It almost, we're going to have to dive deeper into it, but it almost looks like, you have this 1-2. You just almost have like this impulse. You have like A through here, right? 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and you get 3 waves down. So you have a 3-wave move. So you have like a 1-2, almost like a type of expanded flat where you have an overshooting B wave. And so in terms of where this has gone and where it is going, we can use this. I don't know if I really want to use this. I kind of want to use this down through here. I'm going to use this area right here. Right at that's pretty ideal. Not only the fact that it's measuring right up to that 618, but also the fact that, you respected your 382, you got above it. Once you got above it, you moved. That's what you look for. You look for when you get above your 382, you start moving and grooving. You get above the 382, you start moving. We can actually move this down just slightly. I did put this up when the low wasn't quite in yet, so I can move this slightly down to right there. That's it. You get above 26627. My area, my targets are up to 55418. It's as simple as it is, right? So if you get above here, bada bing. We can do this. It did respect this level, this 24771 level. But I want to put it down here now. There we go. There's TARS AI looking like it wants to see a reversal, at least on the daily. Get something moving and grooving. There is potential for the 1-2 to be complete. It's still intact. I know people are getting sick and tired of it, but it wants to keep moving. It wants to keep building. It is also doing a sideways. It's almost doing like another 1-2. And then it's getting ready to go. So I could see it going, this 1-2, and then you grip it and rip it and go. But yeah, that's what I got for TARS AI. If it's requested throughout the week, I'll go back and touch up on it. But the level's already there. The 1-2 is still intact. We're good to go. XCN has been a banger. XCN has been a banger. We were calling for a higher price. We were looking for a higher price. We got that. We got the higher price. Back testing everything without hindsight. Back testing sell side wall. Lost sell side wall. Coming back and back testing again. You have an impulse. You have like this 1, 2, 3, 4. And what are you doing right here? 1, 2, possibly 3 until this is lost. Until this low right here is lost of 6, 4, 8. Everything is good. XCN looks good. Looks bullish. People are excited about XCN. Right? People are excited about XCN. There's some levels that it does need to attack and get above. This 9.6. No, sorry. It is the 855 level and this 962 level right through here. This is that turbulent area. It's been like that for a while, just like that through here. There's one more area just like that right through here. There is a turbulent area. Every asset, they act a little bit different, right? They're like dogs. They have personalities. They have tendencies. You know what I mean? It's just you got to get to know them. You got to spend some time with them, and then you get to know them. This 1-2 has a nice 3-wave move, bouncing off the sell side wall. Get above through here. You see how the 200 is right in between this turbulent area. So I do expect some resistance up through here. Maybe you chop around a little bit, and then you go. Okay. I know there's a lot of areas of resistance or key areas. There's another little turbulent area right here. That's how XCN operates. I got some price targets all the way up to 8 cents. From here, that is what are we at? 0.004 all the way up to 8 cents is crazy move. But I've seen people call for 40 cents, 50 cents. It's an 1100% move. All right, I'm not on board with crazy moon targets. This is what the levels are. This level right here, I'm going to tell you right now, to be honest, this is way more scary than this. Because if you come up through here, you have a 1, 2, 3. That could be it. It could be like that for XLM, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. You come up to that 786 of your retracement. So Bitcoin, it's like, I think it's 107,000. Ethereum, it's like 42, 4,300, whatever it is. I'm just spitballing. But you come up through here and you come up in a 3-wave move. That's more scary right here, because is it? Are we done? Is it? Because more than likely the market makers are going to set it up like this. If I was a market maker, this is what I would do. I would have your 3-wave move come up through here. Decision time. Oscillate down, then go. Because, there's going to be so many people with PTSD up through these levels, these 786 retracement levels. A lot of people are going to sell. So there is going to be self-pressure. Me personally, I'm going to be taking profits at these levels across the board, across every single asset that I own. That is crypto. I'll be taking profits at the 786 extension because of the possibility of a rejection. I'm not scared, right? I own XLM, Chainlink, Jasmy. I didn't even add Chainlink on here. I'll cover it on Monday's video. Degen. When those get up to that 786, I'll pay myself. I will pay myself for the troubles and the heartache that crypto has caused, because that could be it. There's no promises of higher levels. As of right now, there is a higher probability to go higher because of the sell-off. You see the sell-off. But this ultimately, the way that complex corrections work, it's hard to believe, but this could be, you have your A, B, C. This could be your A wave. A 3-wave move of your A wave. And then you need a 3-wave move for your B wave. 3-wave move for your B wave. Whatever it is. And then you get your C wave. And then you come down to levels where it's like barely above, barely alive. And that's your C wave. I know it's a little messy, but that's a possibility of a complex correction. Is we could be finishing up a freaking A wave and we're in a B wave until this is broken and taken, right? So you come up in 5 waves. You have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you don't know. You don't know, and that's the riskiest part, is not knowing whether it's done right here or we're seeing continuation. And that's what market makers do. They're very good at their jobs. So, all right, that's why on the Discord I call out for Patreon members. I have 786 levels listed out. I talk about them a lot. I talk about retracement levels a lot. It's not just a moon boy. It's not just this. I'll be bearish once we get, if we come up right here and we reject, and we come up to our 382 and reject our 382, I'm going to be bearish right here. I'm going to be saying, hey, I am de-risking even more right here. I don't care if it comes down and goes back up. I do not care. Especially from high risk assets. More than likely, if you come up to the 786, right, you have a three-wave move, and you come up to your 786, and you come down and you reject your 382, right? So you have your three-wave move back, and you come up and you kind of grind up like this, and then you reject like that. I think it's over. This is it. This is that termination point. This is, okay, we're in a three-wave move. We're grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. Boom, out. Done. Market over. Wait for another couple years. So that's my philosophy. That's the way I look at things. That's the way that I operate. But XCN overall looking good, looking bullish. We had this idea of XLM. You know, the triangle can be, I can change up the triangle. It doesn't change up the fact of the idea that we had through here, where yeah, you kind of had this impulse. It is invalidated now. It's invalidated. So you need a different. This isn't a 1-2 setup. XLM, not a 1-2 setup. Invalidated, right? Invalidated. So XLM is a little bit behind the 8 ball on XRP. I actually, you know what? I got to double check XRP. I don't know. I got to double check, but it is invalidated, right? We've closed down below this level, so we have a lower low. Okay. Do we have any kind of hidden bullish divergence? Do we have anything that is of use? Or yeah, you're right. You're below that 200. Kind of looks bearish. Kind of bearish right now. Yeah, I mean, you have green dot, red dot, green dot. Not a lot going on. Sideways price action. The difference with XLM compared to Bitcoin is, you know, you have completed waves down. You have completed waves down. You have this 1, 2. You have this A, B, C. You have a third. You have a fifth. I mean, even realistically, I don't really see a fourth wave quite yet. But there's definitely an A, B. Sorry, 1, 2. You have an A, B. You have a C, or you have a C. Right? You come up for your second wave or whatever, for your last fourth wave, and then you come down for a fifth. The idea is there that the correction, this correction has definitely been longer than this correction. This correction lasted, let's stay from right here, 30 bars. This one has lasted, and it's still not over. No, actually, it's not longer. But this is after this, we had a run up. We haven't had that yet. So I will say that we'll remeasure it, right? We'll remeasure it. Before we started to see a run up, it was about 17 bars, and we're at what, 20 something, 27, something like that. Yeah, 27 bars. So it's been a prolonged, correction. I had a Discord member reach out about XLM and being frustrated with this market, being frustrated with this cycle, and that's kind of part of the game. When a lot of people know about something, it just takes more work to get people out. That's the name of the game, right? Like right now, a lot of people are jumping into silver. I'm not a financial advisor, like I've said. This isn't financial advice, but I would steer clear of silver, and I'm in silver. But as of right now, it's over $100. It's just the risk is too high. It's almost this third wave's almost ready. I'm thinking 112, 113. I don't cover silver just because a lot of people aren't in it. But if you're interested in me covering it, drop it in the comments and I'll get to that. I'll start covering silver. It's not a big deal. I can add to the list. I think we do have some bullish divergence. We do have bullish divergence on the weekly. Maybe some hidden bullish divergence. You got a higher low. You got a lower low. So, it's just a matter of time. In my humble opinion, It's a matter of time before XLM goes freaking absolutely crazy. See, you come on to the weekly is invalidated for the 1-2 setup, but then you come to the 10-day and it's not invalidated. So there's some trickery going on right now with XLM, XRP, these blue chip alts that I think have high value, have high potential, great opportunity, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, we have this 1-2 setup is still valid on the 10-day. It's not valid on the weekly. So what do we do with that? Potato. In terms of the 4-day, the 4-day is still set up. It has a clean three-wave move. We've been battling this 22.5 for a while. Close above 22.5, right, on a significant time frame, a 4-day, a 10-day, something like that. Then we start to see something actually happen. We have fallen through this just an idea of a pattern K. We keep coming up and rejecting, and we fell through. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It was just an idea. You do have a red dot with a green. So you see what we're dealing with. You got a red dot on the Fu Manchu. You have a green 4-day candle, closes today. You have a bullish looking RSI where it's bouncing off the moving average. You have bullish, momentum on the MACD. It doesn't, it takes some critical thinking that we're going sideways. We've been going sideways for a while. It's very indecisive. Do we go sideways for a little bit longer? Yeah, I mean, this goes all the way to March, so maybe we go sideways until March. And then we break out and go. But that's what I got for XLM. Obviously, I'll be covering XLM on Monday. Hasn't really done anything spectacular. It did fall through, but this idea of, bouncing, going sideways, the 1-2 is still intact on the daily. Still intact on the daily. It has, this 1-2, A, B, C for a third, coming up for a fourth. Maybe you come down for a double bottom. You know me and double bottoms. I don't really like double bottoms because market makers have just been using double bottoms for liquidity grabs. They'll pile up liquidity down there. Boom. Dip their beak, clean everybody out, reverse, don't let anybody in. So that's why I don't use leverage. That's why I use spot and hold and invest. Not a problem to me. Patience isn't a problem. So overall, that's what I got for XLM. Oversold on the Fu Manchu. Still, we fell down. We were talking about falling down below your moving average, falling down below both these levels on the RSI. We fell down below, looking for an impulse, but the setups are there. We have a level of 22.5 that we really need to get above. You get above 22.5 and you hold it, we're looking at higher prices. Okay, so that's the level to know. And last but not least, we got XRP. XRP here, we're going to go on the weekly chart. Yeah, so XRP looks better than XLM. All right, so you have people on the internet where they hate XLM, they love XRP, they hate XRP, they love XLM. It doesn't matter to me. If XRP does well, XLM will do well. We have a 1-2 setup, right? It came right back almost down to this January open. Really need to get above 221. This 1-2 setup still valid, still here. This is what we need. This is what you need for every single move. You need a 1-2 setup for at least a big move. Big move. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something where you come up, come down, come up a little bit more, 3, 4, 5, and then you kind of come down, maybe, and go. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a big impulse coming up through here, come down, and go. So XRP, I know you're getting a cross on the 20 through the 50. That's really it's the sell side pressure is still there. It still remained. Nothing is off the table, but you do have a red dot on the weekly. Not great. Not a great look at all. It looks better than XLM, but it has a red dot on the weekly. Tell me how that makes sense. All right, tell me how that makes sense. 10-day, still got a green dot. Still looks good. Still looks healthy. 10-day, I mean, that does look kind of bearish. Closes in 6 days and 5 hours, so it's not as relevant as what as one would expect. What about this daily chart? Yeah, get above the 382, 218. Let me just make sure that this is. 1, 2. One, two, three. Did it invalidate it? I think it did invalidate it. Yeah, it did. Because I don't see 5 waves up. Yeah, I don't see 5 waves up. You have this 1, 2. You have a 3. You have a 4th. Invalidated it. Yeah, it invalidated it. So, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. XRP invalidated the 1, 2. So, from all the way from December 19th to today, this is no longer valid. So, it needs. So, what either is going to happen is it's going to come down and take out this low. It's either going to come down and take out that low, or we're just going to chop and go sideways. For right now, it has to chop and go sideways. It has to, I think it does have to clear out some lows. I think it does have to come down through and at least clear out these lows. Maybe bounce off the January open and then go. The thing is, with the yearly open, it's built a candle where it's not so favorable. All right, this is what the yearly open looks like. A little wick to the downside, but I mean that is so ugly. You came all the way up to 241. It's just not right. It's just the manipulation is so crazy that it has trouble breathing. It has trouble staying alive. Yes, you are at your 786, but the 1, 2 setup is invalid. I don't see 3 waves here. I don't see 5. I see 1, 2, 3. So I see a 3-wave move up, a 3-wave move down, maybe another 3-wave move back up, then another 3-wave move back down. All right, so that's kind of what XRP is at. Not the greatest look as of right now. But again, like the weekly is not invalidated. So the weekly is not invalidated. The daily is invalidated. The weekly has a red dot. The 10-day doesn't. Okay, the 2-week doesn't have a green dot. So there's just a lot of smoke. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. The 2 weeks invalidated the 1, 2 setup. So what you can get out of this is there's just a ton of uncertainty. There's a ton of people just aren't interested. People are just done with crypto. People are done hearing about crypto, talking about crypto. I'm just here because I'm in crypto and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to do it either way. So might as well talk about my thought process, the ideas behind how I think and operate, and things of that nature. So without further ado, that's what I have for the live stream. I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for your support and your time. If you're interested, I do have memberships now through YouTube. Everything is through the YouTube app. It has everything listed on there. There's some emojis. There's obviously the badges. And, don't feel obligated. Don't feel pressured. It's all good. I do offer a free Discord. I'd love to have you in the community. We're pretty relaxed, laid back, bearish, bullish. We don't take vengeance on anybody. We're just there trying to discuss what's going on. Have a positive area, have an area where you can talk, relax, you can lurk, you can chill, you can hang out, you can just watch. But either way, those will both be, the Discord and the Patreon will be linked in the description as well. So, as always, I thank you for your time. I thank you for stopping by. Take it easy. Peace.